Observing birds in your backyard can be a joy, and having bird feeders to watch brings peace and relaxation to millions of people each year. But some bird species can disturb that peace. And that's who we will focus on in today's video. These birds are often nicknamed bully birds. The term bully bird refers to bird species that dominate bird feeders by aggressively displacing other birds and monopolizing the available food. They may also be aggressive when it comes to finding nesting sites, outcompeting other birds. We aren't saying these birds are inherently bad or you shouldn't feed them, just that their behavior is seen as a nuisance by many birdwatchers, and they are often looked at as less desirable. Let's take a look at each of these species and talk about why they can be problematic. First up is the European starling. As their name suggests, starlings are not native to North America. They were introduced in the late 1800s and have since spread across the continent, thriving nearly everywhere they go. Unfortunately, they compete with native bird species for food and nesting sites. Starlings are cavity nesters and will drive out other species from nesting holes, including backyard favorites like northern flickers, tree swallows, and eastern bluebirds. European starlings are medium-sized birds that are actually quite handsome. They have glossy, dark plumage with an iridescent sheen that can show purples, greens, and blues in the right light. Their feathers are speckled with white spots during the winter that slowly wear off into the summer months. They can make a wide variety of sounds and are good at mimicking other birds. Starlings gather in huge flocks and fly together in coordinated, swirling, and undulating patterns called murmurations. These formations can be mesmerizing to watch, but this flocking behavior can also spell trouble for your yard. When one starling shows up, more are sure to follow. These birds are highly adaptable and can quickly take over a feeder, pushing out smaller, more desired species. Known for their aggressive behavior, starlings' flocks can empty your feeders in no time. Not only do they eat a lot, but they also scatter seed everywhere, making a mess. If you want to avoid attracting starlings, consider using feeders with small perches, mesh feeders, or caged tube feeders that are harder for them to access. Next is the grackle, who is native to North America and the largest of the troublesome birds on our list. There are 3 grackle species found in North America: the common grackle, great-tailed grackle, and boat-tailed grackle. All look very similar, with males sporting dark iridescent plumage and piercing yellow eyes. Females are brown and less flashy. Grackles have slender bodies and long tails. They are known for their loud, harsh, and varied calls. Their vocalizations can include a mix of whistles, clicks, and chattering sounds. Like starlings, grackles often travel in large, noisy flocks. They are known to be quite aggressive at feeders, often scaring away other birds. Grackles are omnivorous and have a highly varied diet that includes seeds, fruits, insects, small animals, and even garbage or food scraps. In other words, they'll eat just about anything you put out. To discourage grackles, try using feeders with weight-sensitive perches that close off access to heavier birds. Feeders enclosed in a cage, tube feeders with tiny perches, or switch to safflower seeds, which they don't favor as much. Our third bird on the list is the house sparrow. Though much smaller than the grackles and starlings, they can still be a big problem at bird feeders and in backyards in general. House sparrows are native to Europe, parts of Asia, and North Africa. The species was introduced to North America in the 19th century and quickly became one of the most common and familiar birds across the continent. They show little fear of being around humans and are commonly seen in urban environments like parking lots and outdoor cafes. House sparrows are small, stocky, and streaked in shades of brown like most other sparrows. Males have a gray crown with rich chestnut brown on the sides and a small black bib under the beak. Females are mostly a warm brown with lighter underparts, and they have a subtle pale stripe over the eye. house sparrows often show up to feeders in flocks. This can intimidate and push out other birds. Plus, they go through your birdseed very quickly. One of the biggest issues with house sparrows is their aggressive competition for nesting cavities, particularly birdhouses. They often displace native species like bluebirds, swallows, and chickadees by taking over nests, sometimes even destroying eggs and occupying multiple birdhouses to prevent other birds from using them. This behavior can severely impact native bird populations and is distressing for bird watchers to witness. One way to deter house sparrows is by using feeders with smaller openings that cater to species with slender beaks, like thistle feeders for finches. Finally, we have the brown-headed cowbird, a native species that poses a unique problem. Cowbirds are brood parasites, meaning they lay eggs in other birds' nests. The cowbird chicks often kill or outcompete the host bird's chicks. Usually the parents don't realize the chick is an intruder and will feed and care for it as their own. Backyard bird watchers don't like seeing cowbirds in their yard because it means some of their backyard species will be victims of this nest parasitism. Adult males feature a rich dark brown head that contrasts with their glossy black body. In contrast, female cowbirds are much plainer with a uniform grayish-brown color. In the wild, brown-headed cowbirds eat mostly grass and weed seeds. They'll enjoy your bird seed as well and may show up in a flock that keeps your other backyard birds away. To discourage cowbirds, avoid using platform feeders or scattering seed on the ground where they like to forage. Opt for tube feeders with short perches, which they find more difficult to use. That concludes our list of the most common bird species that are often looked at as unwanted guests in the backyard. Are there other birds that disrupt the peace at your feeders? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more nature videos.